Have you ever heard a story so captivating, so mysterious, that it feels like it has to be true? For thousands of years, one such tale has echoed through history, the story of Atlantis. A city of unimaginable wealth, advanced technology, and enlightened people, all swallowed by the sea in a single catastrophic day and night. But is Atlantis just a myth? Or could a real historical supercity be hiding beneath the waves, waiting to be rediscovered? The legend begins with the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, he wrote about a powerful island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was an engineering marvel. It was made of concentric rings of land and water, connected by massive canals and bridges. At its center stood a magnificent temple dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea, adorned with gold, silver, and a mysterious metal called orichalcum, said to sparkle with a fiery red light. The Atlanteans weren't just master builders. They were a dominant military power. Their armies, Plato tells us, conquered parts of Europe and Africa. But with great power came great arrogance. The people of Atlantis, once noble and virtuous, became corrupt and greedy. As a punishment for their hubris, the gods, or perhaps nature itself, unleashed a series of violent earthquakes and floods. In one terrifying day and night, the entire island of Atlantis sank into the depths of the ocean, vanishing without a trace. For centuries, this was just considered a cautionary tale, a philosophical allegory created by Plato to illustrate his ideas about a perfect society and its downfall. But what if it wasn't? What if Plato was recording a real historical event passed down through generations? This question has obsessed explorers, historians, and treasure hunters for centuries, leading to a global search for the lost city. The search has taken people everywhere. Some believe Atlantis lies in the Mediterranean. The volcanic eruption on the island of Thera, now Santorini, around 1600 BC, devastated the advanced Minoan civilization. The explosion was so massive, it created a tsunami that wiped out coastal cities. Could the memory of this real-life catastrophe have inspired Plato's story? The circular shape of the Santorini caldera even resembles Plato's description of the city as concentric rings. Others look further, into the vast Atlantic Ocean itself. The Azores Islands, the Canary Islands, and even the Bahamas have all been proposed as potential locations. Some theories point to mysterious underwater structures, like the Bimini Road, a submerged rock formation off the coast of the Bahamas, claiming it's a remnant of Atlantean roads, or walls, while geologists often identify these as natural formations. The allure of a lost civilization keeps the debate alive. The fantasy of Atlantis has also grown far beyond Plato's original account. Modern interpretations imagine Atlanteans with futuristic technology, from flying machines to crystal-powered energy sources. It's become a symbol of a lost golden age, a utopia that possessed wisdom we've since forgotten. This blend of potential history and high-tech fantasy is what makes the story so irresistible. It taps into our deep-seated desire to believe that humanity was once greater, and that incredible secrets are still waiting to be uncovered in the darkest corners of our world. So, what do you think? Was Atlantis a real place? A Bronze Age superpower destroyed by a natural disaster? Or is it simply one of the most enduring and powerful myths ever told? Perhaps the truth is somewhere in between. Maybe Atlantis isn't a single location, but a collective memory of many lost cities and fallen civilizations. A reminder that even the mightiest empires can fall. The search continues. And as long as there are mysteries hidden in the depths, we will keep looking for Atlantis. Thanks for watching. If you love exploring ancient mysteries, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. See you next time. Imagine a world without cities, without farming, without even the wheel. Now imagine that in this world, Ancient hunter-gatherers built a massive, complex stone temple. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. Welcome to Göbekli Tepe, the site that turned everything we thought we knew about human history on its head. Located in southeastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe is a collection of massive carved stones, arranged in circles, dating back nearly 12,000 years. To put that in perspective, it's 6,000 years older than Stonehenge and 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. Before its discovery in the 1990s, archaeologists believed that complex societies and monumental architecture only emerged after humans settled down and started farming. But Göbekli Tepe proves the opposite. These weren't simple structures. We're talking about enormous T-shaped pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, towering over 18 feet high. They are intricately carved with stunning reliefs of animals: foxes, lions, scorpions, and vultures. These carvings are not just decorative. They tell a story we are still trying to decipher. The level of organization and skill required to quarry, transport, and erect these pillars is absolutely staggering for a society of hunter-gatherers. So the big question is, who built Göbekli Tepe and why? These were people on the move, following herds and gathering wild plants. Why would they invest so much time and effort into building a permanent structure? The leading theory is that Göbekli Tepe was a religious center, a pilgrimage site, perhaps the world's first temple. Different groups of hunters may have gathered here for rituals, feasts, and ceremonies. It was a place to connect, to share beliefs, and to build a common identity. This discovery flips a major historical theory on its head. For decades, the story went. Agriculture led to settlements, which then led to religion and complex culture. But Göbekli Tepe suggests it might have been the other way around. The need to come together for shared rituals, to build and maintain a sacred site like this, could have been the very reason people started to settle down. Maybe it was the temple that created the city, not the other way around. The desire for a shared spiritual home might have been the catalyst for the agricultural revolution itself. Even more mysterious, around 8000 BC, the creators of Göbekli Tepe deliberately and carefully buried their entire complex under tons of earth. They didn't just abandon it, they entombed it, preserving it for millennia until its rediscovery. Why would they bury their sacred masterpiece? Was it to protect it? Was it part of a closing ceremony for a dying belief system? We simply don't know. What we do know is that only about 5% of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated. That means 95% of this incredible site is still buried, holding secrets that could further rewrite our understanding of the past. Each new discovery poses more questions than answers, pushing back the dawn of civilization and revealing just how sophisticated our ancient ancestors truly were. Göbekli Tepe is a humbling reminder that history is not a straight line, and there's so much we have yet to learn about our own origins. What other secrets are buried beneath the sands of time? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more mind-blowing discoveries. Have you ever heard of a great civilization, one as advanced as ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia, that just vanished, leaving behind a language we still can't read? It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's a real-life historical mystery. Today, we're diving deep into the secrets of the Indus Valley civilization. Picture this: over 4,000 years ago, while pharaohs were building pyramids in Egypt, a sprawling, sophisticated society flourished in what is now modern-day Pakistan and northwest India. This wasn't some small collection of villages. We're talking about a civilization that covered over 1 million square kilometers, with more than 1,000 cities and settlements. Their biggest cities, like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were marvels of their time. These weren't chaotic, jumbled towns. They were meticulously planned urban centers. Imagine streets laid out in a perfect grid system, something you'd see in modern cities like New York. They had houses made of uniform, baked bricks, many of which were 2 or even 3 stories high. And get this, most houses had their own private bathrooms and wells. These bathrooms were connected to an incredibly advanced underground drainage system, a network of covered sewers that ran throughout the city. This level of public sanitation was unheard of for thousands of years afterward, even in the Roman Empire. This tells us they were a people who deeply valued cleanliness and public health. They were brilliant engineers, building massive granaries to store food and impressive dockyards, suggesting they were skilled sailors and traders. Artifacts from the Indus Valley had been found as far away as Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, proving they were part of a vast international trade network. They were also incredible artists. Archaeologists have unearthed beautiful pottery, intricate beadwork, and stunning bronze figurines. One of the most famous discoveries is a small statue called the Dancing Girl, which shows an amazing level of craftsmanship and artistic expression. Another iconic find is the priest-king statue, a serene figure with a trimmed beard and a patterned robe. These artifacts give us a small glimpse into their culture, their fashion, and maybe even their beliefs. But here's where the mystery truly begins. For all their incredible achievements, there's one giant piece of the puzzle missing. We can't read their writing. They left behind thousands of artifacts, mostly small stone seals covered in a unique script. These seals are adorned with beautifully carved animals like bulls, elephants, and rhinos, and even mythical creatures like unicorns. Alongside these images are lines of elegant symbols, a language that has remained silent for 4 millennia. We call it the Indus script. Scholars and codebreakers from around the world have tried to decipher it, using every tool at their disposal, from powerful computers to old-fashioned linguistic analysis. But so far, no one has cracked the code. Part of the problem is that most of the inscriptions are incredibly short, usually just 4 or 5 symbols long. We don't have a Rosetta Stone for the Indus script, that famous slab that helped us unlock Egyptian hieroglyphs because it had the same text in 2 other known languages. Without that kind of key, we're left guessing. Is it a logo-syllabic script like Sumerian cuneiform? Is it an alphabet? We just don't know. Unlocking this script would be like finding a library of books from a lost world. It could tell us about their history, their religion, their government, their stories. Who were their gods? Who were their kings? What did they believe about the world? Right now, all we have are silent symbols on stone seals. And then there's the final, haunting question. Where did they go? Around 1800 BCE, this vibrant civilization began to decline. Their great cities were gradually abandoned. The writing system disappeared. The once thriving trade routes fell silent. By the time other cultures started writing their own histories in the region, the memory of the Indus Valley people had faded into legend. What could cause such a collapse? There are many theories. One popular idea is climate change. Perhaps the monsoon patterns shifted, leading to prolonged droughts that dried up the rivers they depended on for farming. Or maybe it was catastrophic flooding. Another theory points to invasion by nomadic tribes from the north. Yet another suggests that the decline was more gradual, caused by a combination of factors, like internal social decay or a breakdown of their trade networks. Without their written records, we can't know for sure. The Indus Valley civilization remains one of history's greatest enigmas, a society that mastered urban planning and long-distance trade, but whose voice has been lost to time. They were a people who built a world of order and sophistication, only to disappear, leaving us with a silent script and a story we're still desperately trying to piece together. What do you think happened to them? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more historical mysteries. See you next time. Have you ever wondered what happened to the Maya? We all know their incredible pyramids, their advanced calendar, and their powerful cities. But then, it seems like they just vanished. Well, the truth is, they didn't. The Maya people are still here, thriving in Central America. But their magnificent cities, places like Tikal and Calakmul, were indeed mysteriously abandoned. So what really happened? Let's dive into one of history's greatest puzzles. For centuries, the Maya civilization flourished in the rainforests of what is now Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico. They built massive stone cities, developed a complex writing system, and had an incredible understanding of astronomy. Their society was a network of powerful city-states, each ruled by its own king. They were masters of agriculture, trade, and warfare. At its peak, the Maya population numbered in the millions. These cities were bustling centers of culture and innovation. But then, around the 9th century AD, something started to go terribly wrong. Archaeologists call it the classic Maya collapse. One by one, the great southern cities began to decline. Construction of monuments and temples abruptly stopped. Royal palaces were deserted. The populations of these urban centers plummeted, and eventually, the jungle reclaimed what was once a mighty empire. The question that has fascinated historians and scientists for generations is, why? There wasn't one single cause, but rather a perfect storm of devastating events. One of the leading theories is catastrophic climate change. Scientists have studied lakebed sediments and cave formations in the region, and found evidence of a series of severe, prolonged droughts that lasted for decades. The Maya were heavily dependent on rainwater for their agriculture, especially for their staple crop, maize. Without rain, their crops failed, leading to widespread famine and malnutrition. Imagine a society built on a delicate balance with nature, and suddenly, nature turns against them. But it wasn't just about the weather. This environmental crisis was made worse by the Maya's own actions. To build their massive cities and fuel their fires, they cut down vast areas of the rainforest. This deforestation made the droughts even more severe. Fewer trees meant less moisture was being returned to the atmosphere, which in turn meant less rainfall. It was a vicious cycle. The very success of their civilization, their ability to build and expand, ultimately contributed to its downfall. On top of the environmental disaster, the Maya city-states were locked in a state of almost constant warfare. Kings competed for resources, territory, and prestige. Inscriptions on stone monuments tell stories of brutal battles and shifting alliances. As resources like food and water became scarcer due to the droughts, the fighting intensified. This endemic warfare disrupted trade routes, destroyed farmland, and drained the cities of their young men. Society began to break down from within. So you have drought, famine, deforestation, and war, all hitting at the same time. It's likely that the Maya people lost faith in their rulers. The kings were seen as divine intermediaries, responsible for ensuring the rains came and the harvests were plentiful. When the rains stopped and starvation set in, the people would have seen it as a failure of their leaders. This could have led to civil unrest, rebellions, and a complete breakdown of the political and social order. Faced with this combination of disasters, the Maya people did the most logical thing they could. They left. They abandoned the failing cities of the southern lowlands and migrated. Some moved north to areas like the Yucatan Peninsula, where new Maya cities like Chichen Itza and Uxmal would later flourish. Others simply dispersed into smaller, more sustainable villages in the countryside. The collapse wasn't the end of the Maya people, but the end of their classic urban way of life. They adapted and survived, and their descendants are still with us today, carrying on their rich cultural heritage. The story of the Maya collapse is a powerful cautionary tale. It shows how a combination of environmental change, resource mismanagement, and social conflict can bring even the most advanced civilization to its knees. It reminds us of the delicate balance we must maintain with our own environment. What do you think was the biggest factor in the collapse? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more historical mysteries. Have you ever heard a myth so powerful, so ancient, that it feels real? What if I told you one of the greatest legends from Hindu scripture might not be a legend at all? We're diving deep, literally, into the mystery of Dwarka, the magnificent golden city of Lord Krishna. For centuries, it was considered a mere story, a fable of a glorious kingdom swallowed by the sea. But what if the ocean held the secret? What if the city was real? In the sacred texts of the Mahabharata, Dwarka is described as a fortress city built on an island by Krishna himself. It was a marvel of architecture with grand palaces, bustling marketplaces, and walls that shone like gold. The scripture says that after Krishna departed from the earthly realm, the sea rose and submerged his entire kingdom, leaving nothing but the memory of its splendor. For thousands of years, that's all it was, a story passed down through generations, a powerful symbol of divine creation and destruction. But then, in the 20th century, everything changed. Archaeologists and marine scientists, armed with modern technology, began exploring the waters off the coast of modern-day Dwarka in Gujarat, India. They weren't just searching for myths. They were looking for evidence, and what they found was astounding. Beneath the waves, they discovered massive stone structures, pillars, and foundations, all arranged in a way that suggested a planned urban settlement. Divers uncovered walls stretching for hundreds of meters, and stone anchors that pointed to a bustling ancient port. The scale of these underwater ruins is breathtaking. We're talking about a city that could have been miles wide, now lying silently on the seabed. Artifacts brought to the surface, like pottery and inscribed seals, have been dated back thousands of years, aligning eerily with the timeline described in the ancient texts. Could these be the very streets where Lord Krishna walked? Are these the remnants of his golden kingdom? The evidence is compelling, suggesting that a sophisticated city did indeed exist here and was catastrophically submerged by the sea. The debate is still very much alive. Skeptics argue that the structures could be natural formations or from a different, less mythical settlement. Yet for millions of believers, this is physical proof of their faith. The sunken city of Dwarka represents a stunning convergence of mythology, history, and science. It blurs the line between what we believe and what we can prove. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest stories are etched in stone, waiting beneath the waves to be rediscovered. What do you think? Is this the lost city of Krishna, or a fascinating coincidence of nature and history? The ocean still holds many secrets, and the quest to fully uncover Dwarka's mysteries continues. It's a powerful testament to our past, a lost world that challenges our understanding of history itself. Thanks for watching, and if you love exploring ancient mysteries, make sure to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.